Hello, this is Tessa Kegel and this is HBS5OHC, Identifying and Controlling Hazards, Mitigation of Health Impacts, Environmental and Biological Monitoring, and this is part 3 of 3. Now, this third part mainly consists of a case study which is about biological monitoring for lead. Lead is a commonly used substance in Australia, and in Australia it requires mandatory health monitoring. Lead is absorbed by the lungs and across the gastrointestinal tract. One of the dangers of lead is that some of it is retained in the blood, soft tissue, and bone. Now, you may recall that we've already discussed lead in the neurotoxicity module. Lead is excreted mainly through the kidneys into the urine. Its effects on the body include gastrointestinal and blood disorders such as anemia and potential reproductive effects, particularly on a fetus during early pregnancy. Thus, biological monitoring is used to monitor the absorption rate of lead in workers for their protection to ensure lead exposures in the working environment are kept to a minimum and to remove individuals from a lead environment if their lead levels become too high. In Victoria, for example, lead monitoring is covered by the Occupational Health and Safety Regulations 2007, Part 4.4 lead. And as you've already seen from your reading, it's also covered by the national regulations. Biological monitoring for lead can be done in several ways. So first of all, lead in soft tissue. This can be done directly. Lead in blood. Now, this is the test of choice, as it's the best indicator of the concentration of lead in soft tissue and reflects recent exposure. Lead in blood does not correlate with the total body burden of lead. It may remain above normal after exposure ceases due to its from bone. Lead in urine. This measure reflects the amount of lead recently absorbed, but fluctuates more widely than the blood lead level. Lead in hair. This test is of limited use due to the difficulty of extracting the lead from the surface of the hair. Under the Victorian regulations, identified lead risk jobs are those in which it is reasonably likely that workers will have blood lead levels exceeding 1.45 micromoles per litre or 0.48 micromoles per litre for females of reproductive capacity. Specific frequencies for testing are stipulated depending on the most recent blood lead levels. Employees with lead levels above 2.41 micromoles per litre or 0.97 for females of reproductive capacity or 0.72 for pregnant or breastfeeding females must be removed from the lead risk job, and a medical examination must be arranged within 7 days. The employee must not be returned until their levels have reduced to below specified amounts. As with all occupational health and safety legislation, the biological monitoring must be part of a total risk assessment and control process. So just to conclude this module has described the different types of monitoring which might occur in a workplace. Once again, we must stipulate that most monitoring should be performed by qualified and registered occupational health practitioners or by occupational hygienists. Validity of monitoring techniques can be a problem. Choice of test, choice of equipment, calibration of equipment, contamination samples, and poor interpretation of results are all issues which can lead to poor or unsatisfactory results. In addition, monitoring is a measurement technique, not in itself a preventive technique. Its use should always supplement the full risk management approach to OHS. Environmental and biological monitoring complement each other to investigate both what is happening in a particular environment and how what is happening may affect the humans in that environment. So this is the end of this module. There are a number of references there that we've drawn on to develop this module. Thanks very much. We look forward to discussing this module with you in the Collaborate session.